right, grade 5, we are moving on to our first lesson in Unit 3. Our big idea is understanding operations helps us to solve problems in the real world. Our focus is going to be on operations. Our concept today is to demonstrate an understanding of how to use patterns to multiply and divide. In fact, we are going back a little bit to our basic facts, and hopefully some of this will help some of you that struggle with your basic facts. If your basic facts aren't a problem for you, this will maybe just give you a different way to look at them if you don't already do so. All right, looking at your Connect section of Unit 3, Lesson 1. What are related facts for 9 times 8 equals 72? What are related facts for 8 times 8 equals 64? Take a moment and with your elbow partner, or if you're on your own, think about what might be the related facts, the facts that go together for 9 times 8 equals 72 and 8 times 8 equals 64. This is your fact family idea. Press pause and try that. All right, so when we're looking at fact families, we are considering the factors. Factors are numbers that you multiply to get a product. A product is the answer when we multiply. So 9 and 8 are factors of 72. 72 is the product. And we can show this because 9 times 8 equals 72. Oops, sorry. Those are our factors. We can also have 8 times 9 equaling 72. 8 and 9 are still factors of 72. We can flip this around and it can in fact be a division question as well. 72 divided by 8 equals 9. And 72 divided by 9 equals 8. Whenever we think of a fact family with multiplication and division, there should be 4 number sentences you can create, 2 multiplication and 2 division. Now, when it comes to 8 times 8, that changes a little bit because 8 times 8 equals 64. And if we were to flip those around, 8 times 8, same thing, so we don't actually need to use that. Division, 64 divided by 8 equals 8. And again, if we flip those two around, it wouldn't change anything. So when both of your factors are the same, then you only have 2 facts or 2 number sentences in your fact family. All right, here are some strategies that you can use to help you multiply. So now this is your Connect section. We can skip count. That's a really good strategy from a known fact. So for example, if 6 times 8 is what you're trying to find, and the last one that you remember happens to be 6 times 6, well, we can count up by 6 because we know that's what's happening each time. We're multiplying 1 group of 6, 2 groups of 6, 3 groups of 6, 4 groups of 6, so each time we're adding 6. So if we happen to know that 6 times 6 is 36, we would add 6, gives us 42. Add 6 gives us 48, which means we now have the 6 times 8 times table. These are actually also called multiples of 6. So all the different ways we can multiply to get 6. And we can use that counting up or multiple strategy to assist us. We can do the same thing when we are counting down from a known fact. So say for example we happen to know we're trying to find 6 times 7, and we do know that 7 times 7 is 49, and we know this is one less group of 7, so we would have to just subtract one group of 7, 49 minus 7 being 42, so now we know what 6 times 7 is. So using what you know about another fact and skip counting up or skip counting down to get the new answer. Couple vocabulary things to remember. A product is the answer of a multiplication question. That is a key word that you need to know. You need to remember. Product is the answer for multiplying. The two numbers that multiply are the factors. Okay, so factor times factor equals product. And we'll be using these words more regularly so that you have to become familiar with them. Now let's take a look at division. Here's a strategy for division. Again, we can use a related multiplication fact to find the quotient. So this is often the way I think. If I'm trying to find 72 divided by 8, I often think, okay, well, 8 times what number is 72? So if you know your multiplication facts, you actually, in fact, know your division facts. So I think in my head, okay, 8 times what was 72? Well, 8 times 8 was 64. 8 times 9, oh, there we go, that's 72. So then I know that 72 divided by 8 is 9. And when we're talking about division, it's important to know the names of the different parts. So the dividend is what you are dividing into groups. So this is the one that you're splitting up. The divisor is the number of groups that you are dividing it into. So number of groups. And the quotient is the answer. Oops. So important again to know those numbers, or those names, sorry. Dividend is what you're splitting it into. The divisor is how many groups, and the quotient is the answer. All right, now let's think a little bit about multiplying with 0. 0 can sometimes be a problem, or for some people it's really easy. Key thing to remember is that when you are multiplying 0, it's groups of nothing. Groups of nothing. If we have groups of nothing, we still have nothing. So 8 times 0, so there's 8 plates of nothing, means you have 0, nothing. 0 groups of 8 still means you have nothing, because you had nothing, no groups. So whenever you are multiplying something by 0, the answer is always 0. Doesn't matter what order they are in, answer is always 0. That's one of those generalizations that we can make. Anything times 0 is 0. Same kind of thing happens with 0. Think about dividing 0 by a number. For example, if you want to find 0 divided by 5, think of the related multiplication fact. 5 times what number is 0? Well, 5 times what is 0? 5 times 0 is 0. So then you would know that 0 divided into 5 groups is still 0. 0 groups of nothing, still 0. Think about dividing a number by 0. For example, to find 5 divided by 0, you would think, 0 times what number is 5? We can't do that. So we cannot divide a number by 0. All right, now you're going to pause and practice. You're going to practice these multiplication facts. Think about what you were thinking to come up with your answer. What strategy did you use? Were you counting up? Were you using a related fact? What do you know about multiplying with 0? And so on. Press pause and try those now. All right, well, let's take a look at those ones. For example, if I have 8 times 7, maybe I know that 5 times 7 is 35. And I need 7 more, which is 42. I need 7 more, which is 49. I need 7 more, which is 56. That was times 5, times 6, times 7, times 8. Yay, there's my answer. And I used the counting up strategy. You might have used a different strategy. B, 0 times 7. I know anything times 0 is 0. C, 9 times 3. Whoops. And I could use the counting up strategy. Perhaps I know 9 times 2 is 18. I have to add 9 more. 27. D, 3 times 0. Anything times 0 is 0. E, 6 times 6. Perhaps I know 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to need another 6, 36. There we go. 36 is my answer. F, 9 times 9. Ooh, that's a big one. That's a tricky one. Maybe I know 9 times 6 is 54. So I'm going to have to add another 9, 63. Add another 9, 72. Add another 9, 81. Or maybe you know that fancy trick for multiplying by 9s. And what you'll notice when you multiply by 9s is you always end up with two numbers that add to equal 9. And it's going to start with the bigger number, and then it's going to get smaller. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get one smaller. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get one smaller. So 5 becomes 6, for example. 6 becomes 7. 7 becomes 8. And 4 becomes 3. 3 becomes 2. 2 becomes 1. Whichever strategy you use is perfectly fine. G, 8 times 5. Maybe I just count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. That's 8. 5, so 40 it is. H, well, maybe I use the counting back. If I just figured out that 5 times 8 is 40, I need 8 less 40 minus 8. Well, that's 32. So it's a number of different strategies that you can use. All right, now we're going to practice some division. Take a moment and practice dividing these basic facts. Might be a good idea to use your known multiplication facts to assist you. So try to think of what times a number is going to give you that answer. Go ahead and press pause and try that now. All right, well, let's take a look. 72 divided by 8. 8 times what equals 72? Oh, 8 times 8 is 64. 8 more. 8 times 9. 9 is 72. So 72 divided by 8 is 9, using our multiplication fact to assist us. 49 divided by 7. 7 times what equals 49? Well, 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 7 is 49. So I know 49 divided by 7. To take 49 divided into 7 groups, you would have 7 groups of 7. 32 divided by 4. 4 times what is 32? 4 times 9 is 36. That's too big. 4 times 8 is 32. Perfect. So 32 divided into 4 groups would be 8 in each group. 36 divided by 6. 6 times what equals 36? 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 6 then is 36. So 36 divided into 6 groups would be 6 in each of those groups. So we can use our multiplication facts to assist us with our division facts. All right, at this point, you are on to your concept practice, page 74 and 75, numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, and 10. You are using patterns to multiply and divide. Remembering this allows you to practice your skills. It will be homework, will be marked and discussed. Make sure if there are explanations that you remember to explain. And explaining means you need to use words. And for this entire unit, there is no calculator. And for this beginning portion, there is also no multiplication table. When we're working on the basic facts, the multiplication table cannot be used. So for the beginning portion of this unit, there is no multiplication table, no calculator. You are trying to remember your basic facts as best you can on your own. And remember, knowing your basic facts is going to affect all of your math. If you can figure out your basic facts, then your brain doesn't have to think so hard when you're doing long division, for example. So you really want these basic facts to basically pop into your head. as soon as they're said. So trying to figure out different ways that you can get them to pop as quickly as possible. All right, you are off to practice. Remember, no calculator, no multiplication table. Good luck.